Hey, do you like sports and a grill?
Yep.
Do you like hanging out with us?
Yes.
You do.
You know what I hate? Shoes.
Oh, okay. Well, Shoeless Joe's Peterborough this Saturday, April the 12th. It starts at 5. Game starts at 7. And we're going to be doing a live show before the game.
What?
Yeah. How about that, huh?
How about that?
Pretty sweet.
Be there. Is your name Peter? Then come to your borough.
Stop. Ew. What?
What? I'm spitting pure fire.
Gross,
This ad.
dude.
This is very good ad.
Absolutely gross. Jesse, anything to add? Shoeless Joe's.
No, it's going to be fun.
Okay. Tickets are available right now in the link to either the description of either your audio or video, however you consume this show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Hi, Jesse. Play the audio of Jesse.
Play the clip.
Play the clip, Bart.
Play it.
Play it.
Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
Chat,
Oh, you put music
here
on it?
we
Someone didn't watch.
go.
I've watched it. I
The
just
Washington
recognize it.
I played the
Capitals
music live on the thing. on
Are
the stream.
going on
When-
the power play.
because they had the commercial break, so we're just talking
Alexander
about the
Ovechkin
commercial break here about what's going
is
to happen.
about to beep, 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 back up into his spot on
That's
the
where you
ice.
Back up.
He's
He's
about to back. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's getting there.
And then he does
He's
this.
about to sit. He's about to put his stick up way in the air, waiting for
Right.
the 1T from the Ovi spot.
The only thing I
This
got wrong is
could
that it was the
be
1T.
it
Yeah.
after we
wrister.
come back from commercial break. The Islanders didn't want to be put in this position because they know the Caps are looking for one thing all power play long. We can have them out there for the full 2 minutes searching for this thing. I hope you are all ready.
I love it.
This is
I
like
love
4
it.
minutes. You know, what am I playing?
Go to
the
the-
whole
go
thing?
to the goal
You are
part.
Already
Okay.
Go to the goal part. I just
For
want to hear it
us.
right before.
I did.
in
There we go.
I want.
And
I want
hype the
no.
chat
Start
up.
over.
We did like 3 minutes
Capitals.
of hype.
No. start
power
over.
play. Ovechkin is going to go to his spot, and we are going to see if this is the moment. The Islanders,
The ice.
Pierre Engvall, could
Where do we get? Here we go.
the Capitals enter the zone. That's Tom Wilson with the puck. There's Ovechkin with a shot, and there it is! Alexander Ovechkin, the Great 8, has surpassed the Great 1!
He did it.
Good call, Jesse.
Alexander Ovechkin on the power play. He's done it. 895.
Play it. There.
And then we go into our hype thing that we always do.
Breaks Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record.
That's Olay.
895 goals scored. He did it on the power play as he should. He wasted no time. Ovi from the Ovi spot for history.
I love the music.
stuff,
I
yeah.
love the music. It's so great. It's so great. Okay.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to know that my mom used that audio 4 times on their show this morning.
What?
Yeah. She's like, can you send me the audio? I'm like, just rip it from Twitter. I sent her the link. And so they used that.
Jeez.
They used that in every like trending report they had. And Alexander Ovechkin, blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah. They
Oh my gosh, that's very funny.
You were featured on a local radio show.
Oh, I made local radio.
Hey, Jesse Blake.
At one
moving
point
up.
in society, that was like the biggest deal.
That was a big deal.
That was like the biggest thing you could do.
Man, if this was 10 years ago, that'd be a crazy big deal.
yeah.
Were you a radio caller? I was a radio caller.
I've
you a radio caller?
never called into a radio.
Oh, I was a radio caller.
I called in once to try to make a request, but I never got in.
I called into Jeff Merrick and I think it was Bill Waters when they were on Mojo Radio.
Oh, Radio for Men.
Yes.
That's what they. Yeah, that was what it
No,
was.
well, I think it started as something less shit.
No, it was supposed to be radio
really?
and they had like power tool hours and stuff like that. I'm not kidding. That
well,
was
I
the
didn't
whole
listen to
Mojo.
those parts.
That was the thing.
Yeah. I like doing those streams because, like, if you want Doc Emmerich, like, go fucking watch your television.
Yeah, man.
Right? I'm in there playing music. I got little animations on the screens. I'm just on the screen. I'm just yelling. So like it's very different from what you're getting on TV because like I'm not just gonna replicate that.
Yes.
You know. So it's a lot of fun. And we were talking at the end of the stream, like after all this happened, I was like, this is probably the biggest thing I've ever been live on camera for.
Oh,
Because I was trying to
for
think
sure.
of like the different stuff. I was like, Steve just had the moment with Four Nations.
We've
with
had a
Team
good
Canada
year.
winning. That's good. And I was like, I don't think I've been live on camera for a bigger thing in sports.
and it was a matinee Islanders game.
Yeah,
Right?
Can you
Like,
imagine?
That's
Yeah.
kind of wild.
My biggest stream moment ever is obviously winning the Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but that wasn't a live sports event, so that's a
That
lot
was
Somebody commented the setup by Jesse, the call, like a director making a Disney movie. Just as scripted, magic happens. It was magic. It was amazing. And I think everybody is super excited for everybody was super excited for the Wayne Gretzky coming out and the whole thing, and that was great. But have you taken a minute to discover or even think about what the Canucks' take on this might be?
No.
Yo, what was that?
So Jesse, I've sent you a link,
Yeah.
and I think
No, I'm aware of what you're bringing up.
so the Canucks have a great Ovechkin auction happening right now out of vanbase.ca. And they're just signed Ovechkin jerseys. There's 6 of them. And that's it. So the Canucks tweeted this out from the official Vancouver Canucks account with 1.1 million followers. How many of those are purchased?
Whoa.
The great Ovechkin auction is live. Place your bids to own a piece of greatness. And then if you click on the link, it's literally a jersey auction. And
Are they game worn? Or are they just signed?
signed Fanatics Premium, signed 2012-2013 alternate, signed Adidas, signed Stadium Series, and signed Vintage.
But is it game worn?
No,
Oh.
none of it's game worn.
Why are they doing this? Did anybody
so
discover
this
that?
is-
Somebody asked?
So this is the part that I can't understand either, because it seems to be the spot where they sell their merch. So you can get Canucks, Warriors, you can get concert merchandise and Abbotsford Canucks stuff here. It just appears that is the Canucks spot for buying and selling merch.
Okay.
And so the Canucks are like, hey, Ovechkin scored last night. Could we make a few bucks?
It's not going to like a foundation or anything?
I'm not seeing anything on that.
You
no.
know what? Why are the Canucks taking grief for trying to make a few bucks off this? The Islanders were shocking.
Okay, we'll get to that. Fanbase is the online home of Vancouver Canucks merchandise and other teams' goods. At Fanbase, you will find trending and
Oh, so it's
classic
just a
merch.
store.
It's literally just a store.
Oh, so that's different.
Yeah. So they're just doing that. Now, if you were at the Islanders Capitals game and you wanted your ticket
That you already bought.
printed, they would print it for you for $45.
American.
Yeah.
So 130.
You could just screen grab it on your phone and send it to yourself and
Bro, as
Like if you
an
have it in
avid
your Apple
collector
Wallet.
of that sort of thing, you ought to go to hell.
I wonder how many
You oughta
people
go to
actually
the-
went for it.
Deepest depths of a bunch.
I saw some Islanders people that I know are season ticket holders were like, yeah, no thanks.
Let me clear something up. That doesn't mean I'm not doing it.
Oh, I would
If
never
paid,
do that.
If I paid to be in the building, which means I have $2,500 to light on fire, and he actually did it, I'm printing it off.
Why don't you print it at home? You get a digital copy.
What if it's
They don't
There's a
take
bit
it
of
back.
a
or
difference.
nicer?
There's a bit of a
like
difference
glossy?
between like you printing something with your Espen printer or whatever, your HP printer, and them giving you an official ticket.
Yeah, because they've got the Lou Lamoriello red cord printer that's direct into the system, you see.
That's right, Lou Lamoriello. When Lou Lamoriello was born, Ovechkin had no goals.
That's crazy. So crazy.
Unreal.
I bet
That's how long he's been.
I bet
around.
Lou Lamoriello was like 55 before Ovechkin scored his first, or maybe even 60. Maybe later. Actually,
He's
he was probably
82.
63 when Ovechkin scored his first goal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
know, man.
And just to do a
So, Jesse,
little
you're
digging,
saying you would do that? You would do the print ticket?
No, I wouldn't pay that money. I think you can get other memorabilia if you want something from the Ovechkin game. Plus, you were there already.
Yeah.
But I think there's a bit of a difference between like printing yours. I think they should have done it out of the kindness of their hearts, and that you're a $1 billion hockey team and you can print tickets for everybody. I think that would have been cool if you like just printed them for the fans, or you charged like $10 and it all went to charity. 45 is crazy. But I was just digging on the Van Base site. They don't have other stuff besides like the Canucks stuff. They don't. It's not just a store. They don't sell other things besides like Canucks and Abbotsford and Grizzlies stuff.
And they have event merchandise too. So if you're at a concert,
Yeah, but there's nothing under there. So like right now. So this Ovechkin thing is weird.
Did you see the warm-up pucks?
No.
So supposedly, this is from Will Cariucci, $375 for a warm-up puck.
That's ridiculous.
But now it does benefit the New York Islanders Children's Foundation.
$375.
Holy shit.
By the way, quick math. If 1,000 people got their tickets printed, that's an extra 50, basically 50 grand, 45 grand for the Islanders. So
For nothing.
for nothing.
For printing.
That's a ridiculous price.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely
It
crazy.
should be like $10.
And yet, here I am going, everyone's making a buck off Ovechkin. And I have an Ovechkin rookie card at home. Mm-hmm. And I had a second one that I sold when he was a sophomore.
Oh, no. How much did you sell that for?
I don't remember. It was 45. It was either $45 or $90. I don't remember which.
What do you think it's worth now? Your
Lot
card?
more.
What do you think?
I needed the money. I was a student.
What's your card worth now, do you think?
A lot. I have a rookie card for the NHL's all-time leading scorer. Jesse, can you look at Alex Ovechkin Young Guns 0506 Series 2? Dude, a box of Upper Deck Series 1 or 2 from 0506 is astronomical. Because Series 1 is Crosby. Mm-hmm. And packs are like $90. 90. You could get a box, like a blaster box of the Series 2 for like 45 back in 2006 or 7 or whatever. Mm-hmm. It hurts my heart. Jesse, what do you see?
They don't have any Young
with
Guns
bids?
one right now, yeah.
It's all
they're
buy
not-
now. What are the buy nows?
They're not too much.
Like, give me a price. Just
They're like, some people are pricing them astronomically, but some of those sold ones are like a couple $100, like $400, $600. Sold ones, yeah. $600?
yeah, that's more than
Is it
45. That's
Yes,
so much more.
is it graded?
It's not graded, but I'm gonna get it graded. Yeah.
Okay, you should get that graded. That's fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
God, that hurts. It's the most valuable. It might be the most valuable piece of hockey memorabilia I own. I've just never got it graded.
Easily, I think. That or all of your James Reimer merch, especially the doll.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's in a
James
cupboard.
Reimer won the Leafs a key game over the weekend against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he was a monster in the shootout.
He did.
He did. It was listen, James Reimer has put the Leafs squarely in first because of his play.
You know what? I'm glad we're moving on from Ovechkin right now. Let's talk about James Reimer.
So I guess, with the Ovechkin stuff, it was interesting. Obviously, the whole celebration was great. I thought his Superman dive onto the ice was spectacular.
Awesome celly.
I thought
Perfect celly.
I thought the way the Islanders fans handled it too. They were just as excited. I think a few Islanders fans, I saw a couple who were like, I just don't understand why we stopped the game mid-game. I'm like, okay, that's being an Islanders fan or being a fan of anybody, I suppose. But everybody else sort of understands why. I thought it was handled really well. Like, it seemed like it was well done, well executed from a celebratory point. You feel like if you're watching on television that you're sort of involved, right? Like that it was great.
The pace of the ceremony was great. Like, it wasn't too long or too short. I think everybody got their time that needed to speak on the mic. Gretz, Ovi, and GB. So I think that was good, and they kept it moving.
Yeah.
It was good. And then you give the flowers to the family and everything, and they had the little video from all the athletes and stuff. It was a good ceremony.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was like, hey, I'm like, no criticisms here. It was fantastic. And Ovi did it in less games than Gretz. And I think...
He did.
Huh?
He did.
Yeah, and I think that matters too. Because there would always be that 1% of people who'd be like, yeah, but he had more games than Wayne.
John Shannon had a very interesting little asterisk on it because Gretzky actually scored his final goal in game number 800. No, what was it?
1400.
1479.
Yeah, everybody has the number wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, so everybody's been talking about how Gretzky scored his 800 and whatever the number is goals in 1,487 games. But that's just the career games he played. He played 8 games after he scored 894.
Right.
But now Ovi has 895 in the exact same number of games Gretzky took to
play.
in the exact same number of games Gretzky ever played.
Yes.
Right, but
So it doesn't matter.
But Gretzky did it faster.
He got to 894 faster.
Yes.
But never got to 895. And Ovi, like, you can't be like, oh, well, Ovi played more games because they're at the exact same amount of career games.
Yes.
we
Yes.
go.
The 895, he did it in quicker than Gretzky would have accomplished it because Gretzky didn't reach that games. But the 894, Gretzky did it quicker.
Right.
That's the two difference. Yes.
People
saying the same thing.
Yeah. People do pay attention to that. Like, Dave Anderchuk took forever to get into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And it pissed me off because there was a stat that was perfect except for Anderchuk. And that is 600 goals automatically gets you in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Automatically. And he was the only guy for like 10, 15 years, whatever it was. And one of the knocks was, yeah, but he just played forever. Meh. He just played for a long time. That's bullshit.
No, that doesn't matter.
No.
Now,
He scored 600 goals. Like, who are we kidding
600
ourselves?
goals. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was just one of those things that has gone right this year for the NHL. There's been several of those things that have gone right. Four Nations went about as right as it could go. This chase went about as right as it could go. Playoffs are on the horizon. I think it's a good time to be a fan.
I think it went really well for the Washington Capitals because when the Islanders went up 2-0, I'm like, okay, the Capitals are an unbelievable team. They're a cup contender, and they might never win a game again. Now they can put this behind them.
Yes, it was a 4-1 Islanders win.
I don't think the Caps ever had to worry about that just because it's Ovechkin and not Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Willie. Like, I feel like your brain is thinking about it like the Leafs chasing a record, but Ovechkin this whole time has been scoring at a crazy clip.
Yes.
Like, it's not like it's ever been a distraction for this team all season long. And even now when the record got close, Friday was unbelievable for him and the team.
Yeah.
He scored the 2 goals. He could have had 3 if he wanted to go out there for the empty net. And then he got it over with as soon as he got an opportunity. He only played less than 5 minutes in the first period. It wasn't a distraction for them. It wasn't like he
played less than 5 minutes. Right?
Yeah, he wasn't out there for a long time. And it's not like they played him 10 minutes of the first period just to distract everybody. As soon as the power play happened, he got it over with. And I think that's the greatness of Ovechkin is that nothing ever fazed him throughout his entire career. Every single year, I'm putting up 30 to 60 goals, no matter what's happening.
30 to 60.
Even though, like, there's a pandemic, the world is ending, or there's a lockout or strike, I break my leg. I have a record to chase. I'm going to put up these goals. It's not going to be a distraction. The Islanders were playing for something. The Caps aren't playing for anything for the next 2 weeks. So I feel like they handled this perfectly from a team perspective.
Well, you play to get dialed in, though. Like, you try to play your cleanest brand of hockey, and now they can do that.
Sure. But, like, Ovi's fine.
Yeah. I thought they were forcing it a little. Like a little.
That's Ovi just scoring all the time.
I know, but could you imagine, like, it's the second last game of the season and he's still at 894.
You're doing it still.
Yeah.
Imagine a thing that was never an issue.
Happen. A bad
thing. It was never an issue all season long with this team because he scored like crazy and he solved this with weeks to go. It was never a distraction. They're the first team in the East. It's not the Leafs.
The stat from the CJ show I was listening to on the way in, Ovi hasn't his longest goalless drought this season is 3 games, I think.
That's unreal.
Or he hasn't gone 3 games. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And you're sitting here worried about, what if they get to the end?
Yeah,
no, it's not. It's not Matthews chasing 70.
No, it's not him chasing 70. Marner chasing 100.
No, it's none of that.
None of that.
It's Ovi just guaranteeing I'm going to score. because that's what he does.
Because I am score.
Because
I
he has
am
goal.
Ovi. I didn't expect him to score like that. Like, what a piss missile. And, like, Ilya Sorokin never allows an Ovechkin goal, and the first one he does is going in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And I saw Ovi asked him for his stick, which I think was really
Yep.
cool. And Sorokin came over, gave it to him. And
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. It's cool that it happened against the countrymen too, right? Like, I think geopolitics aside, I think there's something special about that.
You can't tell me it's not at least a teeny bit of a distraction. Like, someone, I'm sure, told Ovi, all your shit's going in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure he knew, but, like, he didn't find out live and in the moment. At least I'm willing to bet he didn't find out live and in the moment. Someone wrangles him. Hey, you scored the goal. Now go take off all of your equipment.
Yeah.
Go take off all your shit, hand it over because it's going in the hall.
Right.
Right? Like,
Yeah, because everything that he's wearing instantly becomes worth tens of thousands of dollars.
he knew about all
it was cool to see it on the broadcast, the dude taking all of his stuff.
Yes,
Him
because we
hand-
don't really get to see that.
Yeah, I've never seen that like happen on TV. You know, him just like, here are my gloves, here's my jersey, and putting on the new one and everything. It was wicked.
Have we ever seen a ceremony mid-game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gretzky.
yeah.
Great, yeah, but like what I'm saying is that's 1994.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that's what makes it so monumental.
Exactly.
You need
No,
to-
no, like what? Sorry, what I'm trying to impress upon the situation is like so many people listening to this weren't alive when that happened,
Right.
And I definitely don't remember it, right? Like that only happens for the truly special moments in the sport.
Totally.
And we just got one in the NBA when LeBron passed the all-time points record. They stopped the game mid-game and they lost that game earlier in the season.
They did? Oh.
But yeah, but that was like another like history moment. We're never probably going to see this again because the dude's not going to play till he's 40 and still be at the top of his game scoring all these points. So these things are really cool to witness in our lifetime in these sports.
I loved it. I loved the whole thing. Yeah. I loved it from start to finish, from the start of the year to now. I'm sad it's over. That's my thing.
It's not 900.
Well, 900
Well,
is waiting. Yeah,
no.
it would be less of a pop, I think. But yeah.
No, it's over. Yeah.
Can I tell you the absolute wanker thing that's going to happen, and this is how it's going to end? He's going to end at 899, and people are going to be like, you know what? That's better. Because it's 8 and 99.
Yeah.
Ovechkin and Gretzky
Boo.
together forever.
Boo.
I agree, boo. I
a boo.
agree, boo.
I
Oh,
also
no,
say
I
boo.
hate that. I hope
I
he
say
scores
boo.
900.
I say boo to that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you could take that and throw it out.
Yeah, they got
I
a picture
agree.
together. I don't think their
Garbage.
numbers need to be together.
Yeah,
No.
It's like,
No.
Their numbers don't need a kiss.
kiss
What
the
if
99.
what if we
Kiss it.
kissed by the Hockey
We
Hall
kiss
of
by
Fame?
our numbers.
Yeah.
What if we kiss by our numbers?
I think we're good.
Did you guys see the puck? The ref. Everybody left the puck in the net for the ref because it was so like, don't touch that.
Yeah.
the
That's
Hall of
another
Fame
thing I'm
puck.
sure they were told,
Yeah.
right? Do not touch it.
And then so he goes and he grabs it and he hands it off to the authenticator, and the authenticator's there. He's taking all the pictures of the puck to make sure we know this is the one. He takes every angle, and then they hand it off to the Hall of Fame guys and they take it away.
And I bet they have to like get like a security truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like a one of those Brinks trucks where they got, armed security around it, because it's worth a lot of money.
It's going to the Hall of Fame.
Where is it right now? Is it driving across the border?
They're not going to give you a tracking number, that's for sure.
Why not?
So it would be coming to Canada.
It's probably on its way to Toronto if
Yeah.
it's not here already. It's not too far from New York to Toronto.
Might it be in Washington?
Maybe they're doing something there with it first.
Like, there should be like a display in the concourse for the next home game.
Maybe
Maybe they get some of it.
Yeah.
Because
Someone gets to take it home.
maybe they get the
In a
stick or
raffle.
something.
maybe they
No,
call it the
zero
Monumental Monuments Sports Hall of Fame.
No, that is going to be
No?
on display for Sidney Crosby's gloves from the Olympics in 2010 have been on display at the Hall of Fame for how long?
Yeah. and
Well,
they
then why
should-
are
they
you
should-
asking? It's coming here.
They should never come down.
Bringing it home, baby. Bringing it home.
Yeah,
Bring it
they're
home.
probably already in Toronto, I would assume, if they left yesterday.
I have no idea.
No, you're asking questions we can't answer, Steve.
Yeah.
Trying though.
Yeah.
The real winner in all of this, as we know, Ted Leonsis.
Yes.
The owner of the Washington Capitals, who got to be on the ice for everything, who gets to be like, I own Ovi. This is my team.
Yeah.
I did this.
I do have to give him kudos. They invited him to speak, and he didn't.
Yes, he did not.
Good.
Yeah.
He knows no one wants to hear me talk, especially on the road. He might have done it in Washington. Nope.
He's walking through the building going, thank you to public funds. Thank you. Thank you to public funds for you're welcome, actually. He'd be like, you're welcome, taxpayers, for giving me $400 million to get my new arena.
The Vermont, or where do we play? Washington Capitals.
Yeah. So yeah, listen, on now that the Canucks and the Islanders have made their money off of it, we wish you the best making your money off of Ovi merchandise too. Is this the biggest pop of Ovi merchandise we will see in terms of prices, or will it be even more when he retires? So if you do have that extra Ovechkin rookie card that you didn't sell,
That's a good point.
when will it be worth most money? Is it, and I hate to say this, is it when he scores $895 when he retires, or, and this always happens, don't be mad at me, when somebody passes away?
There's going to be a few waves.
Okay.
He breaks the record, so there's going to be a wave. And then when he retires, because there's a finality
Because it's over.
to, well, yeah, like we don't know how many goals he's going to end at. And also, if he keeps playing, there's going to be more shit. They're going to keep making Ovi stuff for the next few years. If he stops playing, at some point you're going to run out of Ovi stuff, like to cut up and put in the cards and autographs, and especially if he goes to Russia. I don't know if Upper Deck is shipping him labels to sign over in Moscow.
You have to put it through Dubai, I think.
Maybe. So those would be the two waves. What if he retires right now? Oh my God.
I think he's done in 26. Like after, I think next season's Ovechkin's last season, and then he goes and he plays in the KHL while he still's got some legs. Because that he spoke about that, how that's always his dream to go play in the KHL eventually. Next year's contract's up, he goes away, and that's it. You know, you get 900. You don't need to play for 1,000. I don't know if he's playing until 42 or whatever it takes to get there. So I think he's done after next year.
The great 32 returns home. That's what he wore in the KHL.
Is that right?
Yes.
I think he'll
It's
get
weird.
8. I think Moscow Dynamo will give him 8. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Moscow or St. Petersburg? Who's going to be?
Moscow.
Yeah.
That's where he's always played.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think they'll give him 8
Yeah.
this time around.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. You think he's got that kind of pull, huh? All right.
Okay, how many goals does Ovi score for Dynamo in his first season in the KHL?
Probably less than you think.
I was just
Oh.
about to say fewer
It's
than
hard
you
to
think.
be
Really?
a point a game player in the KHL. If you ever see anybody that is, they're like shockingly excellent for the KHL because the bigger ice surface, it's a lower scoring league. It's bizarre, but
But you don't think Ovi is shockingly excellent, as you put it?
I think he is, but like he would be in his 40s, and that's a lot of ice to cover.
It's a very
but he's
different.
Ovechkin.
It's a very different game.
It is.
You're questioning the guy who just broke the all-time goals record?
Well,
More like the ghost of.
yeah.
Who is
Jesse? Haven't you heard he's washed?
He is washed.
He only has 42 goals in 60 games or something.
I want you to guess who the 3 leading scorers of Dynamo Moscow this season. All former NHLers. One of them is a former Devil and was a Leaf camp invite, and we all thought he was going to make the team, but he didn't. And this was very recent.
It's one guy. We're trying to guess.
One guy.
Okay, one guy. Former Leaf.
Former Leaf. No, well, former. He played exhibition games with the Leafs.
Okay.
Did not make the team.
Oh, my gosh. I have no idea.
Nikita Gusev.
Oh,
Number 2 is Jordan Wheel. And
I know Jordan Wheel.
Yeah,
That's
Jordan
a guy.
Wheel. And Maxime Comtois.
And you're telling me Ovi couldn't put up 50?
He might be able to. Well, especially with Maxim Motorigan in net, you know? Doesn't have to worry about it, right? Right, boys?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Yeah, and he's going to be getting passes from Daniil Pilenkov, right? Am I right, boys?
yeah.
Can I end on one thing?
Please.
Back
You can end
in,
on 2.
In 2017, a famous writer once wrote that he's still playing. Heck, he might never score 50 goals again. About Alexander Ovechkin. That famous writer was Steve Dangle.
Oh,
Hilarious.
He scored 33 in a down season last year. Cup criticisms aside, we're watching a legend in the making. It certainly says something that Stamkos made this list too. It was about era-adjusted scoring.
So I wrote about era-adjusted.
you nerd.
Jesse always loves bringing up this article.
This is my favorite article that's on the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it was
Steve did a fantastic job breaking this down. I always go back to it.
My favorite article that Steve ever wrote was about how Andrew Nielsen could be the next power play answer for the Leafs on the back.
Yo, I wrote on the Steve Dangle blog. I wrote, I think it was during the 15-16 season when I was covering a lot of the Marlies, about so many Leaf prospects, and almost none of them made it.
That's what happens with prospects. We don't need to have this conversation a million times, but trade the damn prospects.
There was a
Get
day,
guys who are NHL players for your Magic Beans.
I every now and then they would throw me the site numbers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, everyone's why do they write about the Leafs so much?" I wrote an article about Tobias Lindbergh. It was the biggest thing on the site that day.
Yeah.
On sportsnet.ca.
Not surprised.
Yeah. Sorry, we're going to write about the Leafs.
So back in 2017, Steve wrote an article about era-adjusted scoring, the greatest NHL goal-scoring seasons of all time. And it puts into perspective how goofy Ovi's numbers really are. And you did this in 2017, and the numbers only got goofier as he continued to do this. So, his 60-goal seasons were actually 70-goal seasons. And the number of 895 that he's at now is actually, 900 blank.
999 apparently.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Era-adjusted?
I'm sorry. I can't.
No, I mean, you got to score the goals.
I simply can't with that stat.
Oh, you don't like
I
era-adjusted?
refuse. I refuse.
No, there's something to scoring in an era that's difficult to score in. Mm-hmm. There's something to it.
Sure.
But I don't like it I like it as a tool to prop guys up.
Not tear them down.
I don't like it as a
That's
tool
my
to tear
issue with
guys
it.
down.
That's my
Okay.
and
But
Steve isn't doing that.
No, I think with era-adjusted numbers, you have perspective on how great Ovechkin is and how difficult it was to score throughout his entire era and how easy it was for Gretzky in his era. Obviously, what Gretzky did in his area was so far ahead of everybody else that we know he would have been exceptional in any era. But Ovi, what he accomplished is even more special because of how difficult goals were to come by through his entire NHL career.
Here, leave this on the screen because I want to.
Did you make that graphic, by the way?
Of course I did. Look at it. It's horrible.
Wow. They let that on their website?
I was also surprised. So one of the quirks of this, and Adam, I know you're going to love this. So Gretzky scored 92 goals in a season, and he scored 87 goals in a season. By era-adjusted stats, the 87-goal season is more impressive than the 92-goal season because it was harder to score in 83-84 than it was in 81-82. I know. Do you hate it? Do you hate it a lot? You should.
I don't even hate it. I'm just it means nothing to me.
Wow.
It means nothing. It's a meaningless. Yeah, cool, man. I'm sure
This article did very well.
They're going to take them back. No, listen. At the time, you would have had me sold on era adjusted. I've just grown up since then. And there are certain stats where I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's a cool theory you got. Here's what actually happened, and it's you know what it is. You know what did it to me?
What?
I'll make it about the Leafs. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh,
it's the amount of times I have heard. Well, the numbers were this, and this in the playoff series. It just didn't go their way.
Oh,
fuck off, man.
I think
there are certain things.
I think those are completely different conversations.
They're actually not, because here's what actually happened. 92 goals actually happened. The 68 next to it didn't.
I need to be Tony Soprano's shrink. What is the source of your anger?
I think
it's gaslighting.
I think for these era-adjusted numbers, all we're doing is putting into perspective how great the top guys are throughout history.
Brett Hull's better though, so.
And I don't think it applies to using numbers to justify why Leafs
Brett Hull
lost
scored the most goals,
season.
actually.
Brett Hull, greatest era-adjusted single-season goal scorer.
Better
ever.
than Ovi. Better than Mario. Better than Phil Esposito. Better than Bure.
Era-adjusted.
All of them.
Hey, there was actually a message, Jesse. I know you wanted to end on this, but there was something that a fan sent us, and I was like, I got to include this. Okay? So Michael Heckman DM'd me. He's like, here's a fun way to make Ovi's record about the Leafs.
Oh.
Because it is always about the Leafs. Alex
right.
Ovechkin was named the only star of the game yesterday. The only other time that there's any record of that happening was when Maurice Richard scored all 5 goals in a 5-1 win against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs March 23rd, 1944. When Wayne Gretzky scored 802, he was only named the game's 3rd star.
What?
Isn't that nuts?
Wait, what?
Last sentence was the one that got me. The rest of it, I'm like, what?
Dude,
Wait?
David Ayers got first star.
Yeah.
Why didn't they name Gretzky
They
first
used
star?
to take stars of the game extremely seriously. Like you have to understand. Like it used to be like a huge honor. Now no one gives a shit because it doesn't
Third
matter.
star?
Yeah.
Oh my
but
God.
Steve, how do you play the rest of the game? Is what they would have asked.
What?
Oh my
So
God.
on stream, because everything was kind of done once Ovi scored. The rest of the game,
Yeah, everybody just drop off.
We're playing out the clock, the rest of the game. So we were just kind of joking around that Mark Gatcombe should get first star because he scored 2 goals that game.
He should.
He scored 2 goals. Ovi only got the 1.
Yep.
Mark Gatcombe, if he gets a hat trick, should probably be first star.
Yep.
The Gat trick.
Yeah, the Gat trick.
Hey.
And I was trying to do a name for the Mark Gratcombe chase.
Gatcombe.
No, the Gratcombe chase.
Oh, the Grat one.
the Grat one.
The Grat one. I love that.
There's a
now,
lot of
You can't sell me on your
material to work
adjusted,
there.
Jesse, but you can sell me on
Also,
the Grat chase.
Mark Gatcombe, never heard of him.
That's a
until
guy.
Yesterday.
Gat Kovechkin.
Gatvechkin.
There's a lot going on there with Mr. Gatcombe.
Yeah.
But yeah. First NHL season. He had 6 career goals heading into this game. Ended up with 8.
I love
Dude,
that.
he's like a below average AHL producer.
Yeah.
And here he is in the NHL. He's scoring goals. Good for him.
Yeah, I think his goals per game are higher than Ovi's. So
He's
got 8 and 32. What is that?
I want to say he has like 8 goals and 1 assist or something.
Yeah, but like he's a scoring machine. Who needs the
The
opposite?
Islanders have it's Brandon Peary reincarnated. Here he is.
Anyway,
It's wow.
Playoffs are on the way, and listen, I'm just going to suggest that you might want to try Z-Biotics as your first drink of the evening
Why?
because it's a great drink pre-alcohol. Obviously, you want to drink responsibly, and then tomorrow you can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day.
Well, that sounds like a great thing.
Because Z-Biotics was invented by a PhD scientist to tackle rough mornings after drinking, because when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that is to blame for the roughness the next day. So pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break that byproduct down. And just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night and drink responsibly. You're going to feel your best tomorrow, which is great, right? So go to zbiotics.com/dangle to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use the promo code DANGLE at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed by a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Product only available in the U.S. Remember, go ahead to zbiotics.com/dangle and use the code DANGLE for 15% at checkout. Of the 3 top teams in the Eastern Conference divisions, right? So not based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but your top 3 in each division.
Got it.
Only 2 of the 6 currently have a win streak. The rest of them have either lost 1 or more. Name them.
There's a lot of name the 2 teams who are actually winning.
On a winning streak.
The Leafs.
Yeah.
Devils?
The Devils.
Yes.
They've won 3 straight. Now, it's interesting. Ottawa is a point up on the Devils, and they are 2 points back of the sinking Florida Panthers, who are 3-6-1 in their last 10, dealing with a lot of injuries.
Ottawa being a point up on the Devils is so immaterial because Gary Bettman organizes the standings in the worst way possible.
It's insane. It's so stupid.
It means nothing.
It's so stupid. But Ottawa being at 77 games and Florida being at 77 games and them being 2 points apart is awful interesting. Now, you could tell me at the end of last week, 4 points. That's not much of a spread. Now we got a race.
How do you guys keep falling for this? Every time I'm like, well, it could. You guys go, no.
Did you say this?
For like, not just this race, but like a lot of them.
But
I'm like,
did
they
you say
could do
anything
it.
about this
Steve,
race,
it was
though?
your over-unders thing again.
Yeah.
It was every
I'm taking the
team.
over.
They're in there. They're in there. They can do this. You know, the Sharks, they got a shot.
You know how hard it would be now.
I don't know if you ever made any of these arguments.
I don't know why we're talking about this right now. The Panthers are clearly going to hold on to it.
No,
But you're just defaulting to saying I made this argument because you made the argument for every team.
No.
you can't make it for every team. You have to be
You
specific.
can't say it for every team.
Yeah, I
Steve.
can. No, it's just.
You know what? Next year for our season preview,
what?
Steve will be like, every team might win the cup this year.
I'm going to.
So then you're right because
Cup
you named
potential.
all teams. Like what?
Hey, the future is teal.
Yeah. Every team, though, future is red. Carolina, the future is also red. Washington, the future is also red.
The future is a different shade of red.
But in all honesty, there are some conspiracy theorists out there that think the Florida Panthers want to play the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round and therefore are going, let it happen. And, it's a compelling argument from the Panthers' perspective, even if they're not doing it on purpose. Paul Maurice apparently was pretty agitated when he rolled through Toronto last week. I don't believe for a second that the Panthers would intentionally do that, but it could shake out that way. Ottawa looks really good.
Well, okay, let's look at the East and try to be as unbiased as possible. Let's pretend the Rangers are out of it, which, I mean, I'm not going to. No,
They probably are.
they're not going to make it. Who would you most like to play? Not as a Leaf fan, as anybody. You get a choice of having a 7-game series against any of these 8 teams. Who's your number one pick? To me, there's 3 top candidates.
Okay.
The Habs, just because even though they're hot, they're last.
Yeah.
Out of the playoff teams,
Yeah,
they're last.
okay, that's
they're
fair.
last. That's the easy one.
5 points, yeah.
The Devils are playing very well, but they're missing some really key components that are going to make it really hard to.
But they can't fall to wild card
no,
because the Rangers are right there.
no. I'm just you get a choice. A billionaire came from South Africa and he said, "You get to play whoever you want." And I'm in charge of everything for some reason.
Right. Would you say he took a chainsaw to the way we seed?
Yeah, and looked really cool.
Anyway, continue.
And the Leafs.
You would say the
You're
Leafs?
looking at recent playoff success.
Yes, in the same way that you'd look at the Jets and go, well, they were out in 5 last year.
Well, yeah. Okay. Are the Blues going to turn into a pumpkin when the clock turns midnight? Yeah, maybe. Who do they get to play? Oh, the Jets? Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, shit. Now, last year, the matchup where we did that was the Islanders versus the Hurricanes, and we're like, the Hurricanes are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricanes smacked them and won. So, doesn't always work out that way. But if you get a choice, surely the Leafs are up there. They keep losing in the first round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm interested in this. If the Panthers do fall, first off, we don't get the Tkachuk versus Tkachuk series that we all want, which would be a bummer. But it would be interesting to see Brady Tkachuk on behalf of his brother go rock'em sock'em robots on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I want to.
Right? Because there's a hatred there between the Panthers and the Lightning. Yes. And Brady, therefore, who loves his brother, and he should also hate the Tampa Bay Lightning, but for his own reasons too. And
I need
Linus
one of
Ullmark.
the Tkachuks against Brandon Hagel.
Delicious, right?
Yes.
Now, there is, Brad Marchand just came off an injury. Tkachuk has been out since 4 Nations. Ekblad is out and not coming back until a few games into the series, maybe. And then you've got Barkov, and we don't know really what's going on there.
Nope.
If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, are you hoping for the Panthers to fall? Or would that be real stupid because Bobrovsky's got your number?
Real, super duper breakneck speed, light speed, stupid. You get who you get and you don't get upset.
That's right.
Try to beat them. That's it. You don't hope for anybody.
Now, the Leafs have been focused on winning the division. They've said that in the locker room. They've said that to the public, and they're doing a pretty good job right now. 98 points in 76 games. They've got a game in hand on the Panthers, who only have 92, and the Lightning, who have same amount of games played, but 94. They are on a 4-game winning streak. Don't look now, but they are 8-1-1 in their last 10.
This is the Leafs?
This is the Leafs.
Yeah.
Isn't that surprising, guys? 8-1-1 in their last 10.
Well, it's funny. 'Cause I want to say at the beginning of the stream on the weekend, I was talking about how good they've been recently, or how good their record's been recently. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't feel like that because they haven't run over a lot of teams this season.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, they run the Blue Jackets over.
And the Blue Jackets had given them trouble twice this year already. Like one of their worst games of the season was the second half of that back-to-back. They had a Tampa, Columbus. I remember leaving the Tampa stream, leaving this building, going, man, the Leafs are great this year. Holy smokes. And then the next day, they were back-to-back with travels to one of the worst games I've ever seen.
And how many times have they done that this season where you're like, here they are. There they go.
There they go. and then a little later on, Fantilli scores a hat trick again, in front of his family at home.
Yes, at home
here at home.
Forgot about that one.
And then they come in and they beat the brakes off the Blue Jackets. It wasn't even a little close.
A team that has had their number for so long.
Yes.
Like Drew gave me a crazy stat on the stream. It was like the Leafs haven't beat the Blue Jackets with Merzlikins in net since I think it was 2022. Like what?
Why?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
2022? And they have beaten them once since last year.
It tells you sometimes a little bit about the mentality because you can't convince me otherwise of this. This Leafs team would have games where you go, oh my God, they're amazing against this amazing team. Mm-hmm. And then there'd be opponents that they didn't take seriously and they get crushed by.
Mm-hmm. But
they seriously didn't take
every game, every year? Like
Columbus was always bad except for the time that they played the play-in round. So maybe.
Damn.
And they beat Tampa that one year. But
they beat you 6-5 in overtime twice last year.
Yeah.
They beat you 6-2 this year, 5-1 this year. Dude, they can score against you. So like a shutout from Stolarz is actually kind of a big deal.
And it starts, gentlemen, and Jesse, you were there, right?
Saturday?
Yeah. It starts with that Nick Robertson goal. And Nick Robertson fired out of a cannon because he was scratched.
Hilarious.
And Jesse, I just want to know the feeling in the press box because that was a really, really good goal. Was there like a, whoa, like you guys aren't allowed to emote?
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was the exceptional goal. I like the second one better, to be honest.
With the flipping puck and stuff?
Yeah, from the goal scorer's
cool.
perspective, like going, the second one was the 5-hole one, right?
Yes.
We slid it along the ice. Yeah. That one to me was just fantastic because like that's a pure goal scorer who's like, I'm going to take advantage of this goalie one-on-one here and I know I can find a hole. It was
an NHL player's
like,
goal.
Yeah, that's the stuff you want to see out of Nick Robertson because his overall game doesn't provide every single facet that you want in terms of like being a hard-hitting player or playing on the PK or anything like that. So you want him to be exceptional at this one aspect of the game, which is goal scoring. And whenever he's scratched and gets back in, he is that guy. And that on Saturday, it was beautiful to see out of Robbie.
We can talk about how restricted free agency is kind of BS and, doesn't give the players enough agency or rights. But for as long as it's a thing, I really don't see a reason to trade this player.
Well, here's the thing. If you sign, this is supposed to be the summer of offer sheets because the free agent class ain't great. It's okay.
He'd be a great candidate for an offer sheet.
Well, and you could offer sheet him at $1.5 million or less and get him for nothing.
Yes.
Because people forget that at the low end of restricted free agency, if you're in the bottom tier, it's essentially an unrestricted free agent. The only thing that's different is that the team does have the holding team has the right to match, but there would be no compensation. So if you want to, Nick Robertson has tied his career high in goals in more games this year, 14 goals last year, 14 this year. If you're looking for some, third line help on the right side, Nick Robertson at $1.5 million bucks.
The Leafs would match.
I would also match it. Yeah,
yeah, the Leafs would just match it.
Yeah, purely to prove a point.
Yeah.
And also, you're not like $1.5 million. You're not grossly overpaying for a guy who can score
100%
at the NHL level.
I'm just saying, it can happen.
It is good.
So then, okay, with Nick scoring those 2 goals, my question becomes: I really like the way that third line is operating. I know that they didn't score. Mm-hmm. I know they're the one line that didn't score. Willie had a couple goals. Nice to see Matthews get his 30th, but I actually feel like we have a third line now.
Yes.
And
no, you don't get sucked in by that.
What do you mean? Oh, by Robertson?
Yeah.
So Jesse and Steve, this is my question. Is Robertson in game 1 lineup with Pacioretty and Kampf healthy? Let's say they're healthy.
No.
Who goes in?
Kampf.
Okay. Jesse, what do you think?
I agree that I think David Kampf is more useful in a playoff series against a team like Florida.
You could have like a home lineup and a road lineup. I think that could make some sense. Kampf on the road, Robertson at home. Maybe something
Because you can
like
line
that.
match a little bit?
Yeah. But there's a lot more versatility, I think, at the bottom of the lineup than there used to be.
But that does not mean, in my mind, that Robertson doesn't play in the series. I think there's a definite case that he gets in there if any of those guys make mistakes, whether it's Kampf or Patches. I think Robertson's next man up, and he should get in there if you need a little bit of goal scoring boost.
They messed up. Sheldon Keefe messed up last year. Robertson played the first 6 games of the Bruins series, didn't play Game 7. Wrong. First 5 games, scratch him, play him in Game 7. You're up 1-0 before the pucks drop. And then he scores. Then it's him on that breakaway and not Connor Dewar. And oh God.
I think Robertson gets into this first round series for sure. I don't know if he starts it though.
Okay.
I think we've seen Berube lean on David Kampf for quite a bit here, and I think that he's going to probably put him in the Game 1 lineup. Patches, I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to go at the beginning, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You'll be happy to know that both McCabe and Kampf skated today, although they will not take part in either Florida game. I did see, I thought, the impact, and again, I know it's Columbus. I know they're on the outside of the playoffs looking in, but they still had a really good season. This is not a bad team. This is a team with a lot to build on. I saw the impact of Brandon Carlo without McCabe in the
Oh, man.
And
I love that player.
And I love the trade when it was made. I love it even more now. I can't believe it's 3.5 for the next 2. Is it 1 season or 2? I think it's 2 seasons.
It might be.
It's this season and the next 2 or whatever. It's
At
great.
least 2.
And so, I think it's nice to have some backup. It's nice to have a guy who, okay, we had McCabe. That was great. We had Muzzin before that. That was great. What happened? That you get injured at a specific time, and without them, the team looks a little lost. Now you've got Tanev and Carlo as well. And that feels just a heck of a lot better, especially when your bottom pair is Benoit Myers. And, they're going to have warts. Every team will if a major player goes out.
Low bar. This is their best decor definitely of the Matthews era.
No question.
It's probably of LFR.
Certainly.
07, 08.
No, that's not a hot take.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Now.
This is probably their best defense core since
McCabe, Caberlet, Yuskevich.
Yeah, Shvela or whoever else you had,
Markov.
Yeah.
Dude, the low bar. The Leafs have done a not great job back there. But no, that's a terrible time. They're not fun to play against. Not anymore.
And they're big.
They're big. You need some help from the forwards, obviously, which the forwards haven't always given their decor this year. But no, that's a big, mean decor. It's gonna be. I mean, if I'm Florida, if I'm Tampa, I'm not even trying to score. I'm just dumping the puck in and hitting the shit out of you every play.
Right.
Then the Leafs should be looking to do the same.
Right. Do you guys think that William Nylander getting to 43 goals?
44.
44? Obviously he's got 3 straight even 40-goal seasons before. 2 straight before this, and this is his third 40-goal-plus season.
He wrecked it.
Do you think 50 matters?
Oh, of course it matters. It's real hard, though. He's got to get a goal a game, right?
Yeah.
They got
he would be the only other player to do it, too. There's no other. It's
On the
Leon.
Leafs.
Leon is the only
Ovi
other guy.
could.
Sorry. Ovi could.
But
What do you think? Does 50 matter? Do you care? Do you guys care?
I care. Not really, though.
No? Jess?
No.
Yeah, win a playoff series. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Matthews scored 69 goals, and no one even really talks about it.
Yeah.
No.
What if they won a playoff series?
Man, I'd talk about that.
Yeah.
I'd talk so
That'd be
much
cool.
about
Remember the race to get Marner 100 points? No idea how many points he has.
Let me find out for you.
Zero clue.
Okay, can you give me a guess?
92.
Jesse, do you know?
93, Dougie.
94.
Hey,
70 assists. He got his 70th assist.
he did.
The Blue Jackets.
He did.
There's a player that I think should score 30 goals more often, Mitch. He had a couple 30-goal seasons a few years ago and also added 60 assists in both of them, almost 70 in one of them.
Great goal scorer, great shot.
Absolutely.
I wish he would use it more.
Yeah.
That's more of a beginning of the season problem. It takes him 2 months to figure out he can shoot it.
Yeah. 100%.
And you're like, Mitch, shoot it.
And then he does.
He knows now. It's fine.
So, okay. Then I guess from this game, I then immediately switched to the Buffalo Sabres and Tampa Bay Lightning, which was actually really exciting The Buffalo Sabres are making Sabres fans believe, which I think is hilarious because you not been fooled before? I'm sorry.
They're mean.
So tell me,
They're mean.
guys. Let's set this up again because Sabres fans are like, man, if they had just made a move at the trade deadline, they could be one of the hot teams like Montreal. Why is that not the case in your opinion?
I'm not going to say that's not the case.
Okay.
I was bullish on them somewhat at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They're not built like a shitty team, in my opinion. Like, heading into the season, I thought they had goaltending. UPL's been a disappointment. I think the D-Corps been a disappointment, but they can score with the best of the teams in the league. They're
Sure looks good in overtime. When you dial it back to 3-on-3, they look great.
I think it's completely down to culture, which I think is such a weak cop-out answer for the majority of teams in the league, but it's outrageously true for the Sabres. There's no reason for them to be in the basement anymore, other than
So are you a
people
believer?
seem to hate it there.
Do you think, based on their hot streak lately, do you believe in them for next season?
No. I believe in them for next season because they are one of the best offensive teams in the league. They just need stops, either in net or defensively.
Jesse, what do you think?
I think you have the perspective of Sabres fans incorrect. I don't think anybody who's watched the Buffalo Sabres over the last 12 years believes that this team is a playoff team just because they're winning with nothing on the line.
Well, they want to be in the race.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean?
No,
Well,
I think Jesse's questioning the premise of what I'm saying. And I'm just saying what I saw online. And I just thought,
Yeah, I
there
don't
are
think-
hopeful Sabres fans out there.
I think every team that's rebuilding is hopeful about the future, but I don't think anybody looks at this team right now just like, if we run it back again, we're a playoff team. I don't think they truly believe that, because if you understand how the Sabres are for the last, like I said, decade in this franchise, you know that what they've reached this point, and it's not enough. And the roster needs some sort of retool. It needs a lot of restructuring. They need a lot more pieces, and they need better management from the top to the bottom to get this team to where it should be. And this little streak here shouldn't fool anybody.
Okay.
They're not going in a tailspin like Boston, who's truly like a bunch of vets who don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're young kids who are going to play no matter what till the end, because they're still fresh in this league. They want to score. They want to win games. So they're always going to be trying. There's no giving up there because they haven't done anything yet. And that shouldn't fool you in believing that come October 2025 through February 2026, when the season actually matters for this team, that they can win a bunch of games then.
You're going to have to get better through youth, right? Like, some guys might graduate. Who knows? I don't know. I hate just being like, this team sucks and they're always going to suck. I'm like, okay, let's try to solve some problems.
Yeah, I don't think every team's always going to suck forever. That's not really how pro
the
sports
Sabres
goes.
sure have.
Everything
It's the
goes in a cycle. But if you look at the Buffalo Sabres, their history of sucking is great, and they do a great job at it. And let's not be fooled by this team that's been bad for multiple seasons now with this same core, because they're good for a 3-week stretch here.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the Montreal Canadiens have also been good for a little bit here. 5 straight wins. They are 6 points up on the New York Rangers. It looks like the Montreal Canadiens are going to the playoffs unless something catastrophic happens. It'd have to be catastrophic. There's 5 games left.
How do you need every point on the table and get shut out?
The Rangers?
Yeah. That's so bad.
Hey, culture. You were talking about culture.
Oh, man, it really looked like they fixed it for a bit.
It did. No, I don't think it's... I still don't think it's the dressing room. I think it's upstairs. Like, you took they won the President's Trophy, man.
I just don't know if they're good enough. Like, they're old. I don't know. Everyone... Remember how at the beginning of the season, I was like, Matthews scored 69 goals. They still finished third. If he scores less than that, how do you make up those goals? The question was not, hey, what if everyone underperforms?
Right.
Which is the Rangers. Everyone has underperformed.
Well, you got to ask why then.
Panarin,
Is it just being old?
Kreider. They're old. They're injured. They're miserable. Guys got traded. Like,
They're miserable. Which comes from where?
it's a cultural thing. But I didn't think they were miserable anymore. Like it's
Well, I don't think
they
management
righted the
is
ship for a
miserable
while.
anymore because they got rid of the guys they want to get rid of. They got rid of Goudreau, they got rid of Trouba, they got rid of Hedel. They got JT Miller, who they desperately wanted. Who else they get on defense? They got him. They made a defensive thing too. Will Borgen.
Vaakanainen?
Will Borgen.
Oh yeah,
and
Morgan.
re-signed him to
They
a good
actually
deal.
kind of changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I don't know. That was a sad game. Sad.
But they've
sad
had
game.
so many of those games. Like,
Yes.
It's every single game is okay. They look okay. They look a little decent, and then there's no effort from anybody at any point in the back half of the game. Like that's how every New York Rangers game has gone this back half of the season, and it's not been good. And there's no point where anybody should have believed in this team turning it around because they've had multiple opportunities to take a playoff spot from the Canadians or whoever's in that second wildcard spot, and they've never done it.
Nope.
Every single time there's an opportunity, they end up getting a lead in the game and then blowing it or just never showing up for the game at all.
I'm gonna keep pointing this out. This is my Tyra Banks. We're all rooting for you. How dare you moment. Alexei Lafreniere, 16 goals, 27 assists, 43 points in 76 games. Boo. Boo.
That's everybody.
You had 28 goals last year, 57 points. You got a huge contract. Boo.
If you're talking about underperforming guys, you can just go down the roster. Like, no need to single out Lafreniere. Like, that's everybody on the team.
Panarin having 82 points and being on that list is hilarious.
Yeah, but ask him to play defense. Where is he?
I know.
Yeah.
Adam Fox took forever to score a goal, and now he's got 9. Like,
He won the Norris once, man.
bro. Shesterkin has a losing record and a 904. Are we going to talk about that? There's another guy who, like, I'm picking on Lafreniere for signing a big contract and then underperforming.
If you're ranking
That's what
top,
I'm saying.
if you're ranking top disappointing seasons from teams, and I know we got 5 games left, we can do a whole video on this. But like, who had a worse season, Nashville,
it's those
or
teams.
New York?
It's
Nashville.
those two.
You think Nashville's is what? Because New York fell from the President's Trophy.
Yeah, but Nashville was never close.
Yeah, that's true. New York did start well.
Actually,
start well.
Because I guess it's a good point because like New York's expectations were Stanley Cup. Like going into the season, I thought it could be a Stanley Cup year. So, and Nashville, you made the playoffs, you lose close series to Vancouver, and then you make all these free agency signings, and you're like, okay, we're primed to go on a run here, and then you're never close at all. I guess more disappointing is falling from like we could go on a deep run as opposed to like falling from Stanley Cup to out of the playoffs is bigger than Nashville's fall, I'd say. So yeah, I guess it's the Rangers.
And Western Conference Final too, right?
Yeah.
Presidents
I guess,
and Western
I guess
Conference
the
Final.
difference
Or Eastern, excuse me.
At different points in the season, the Rangers gave you hope.
Yeah.
Whereas the Preds were like, nah, don't worry about it.
Now
we're bad.
It's been interesting because the East race was close until the end of last week, and all of a sudden, poof, it's over. It's not.
gone.
Now, again, this can all change with something catastrophic like the Montreal Canadiens losing the next 5 games, but again, doesn't seem likely. And it also doesn't seem like the Rangers, the Red Wings, the Islanders, or Blue Jackets are equipped to even take advantage of that, right? Like
Nope.
it just like even if Montreal lost every other game for the rest of the season, I would feel like none of those 4 teams would be like, shucks, they got them.
The East
They
had
just needed Montreal to let up. Like it's just they're a group of mid.
Yeah. The East had their first team eliminated like a couple days ago. So it's fun. So I thought it was going to be like a lot of down to the wire races, like final day.
Well,
I don't know if it's going to be like that.
It certainly isn't. And I mean, the difference, it's interesting in the East because the 10th place team out of the playoffs, right? Like in the wild card, I've got the wild card thing. So the last place team are the Bruins. And they have 71 points. The Rangers,
They're gonna get
who are the
such a good
next
player.
closest to Montreal, have 79. So it's only an 8-point spread between just out of the playoffs.
No. Sorry.
What?
No, it's 8 points.
Well,
It's a huge spread.
yeah, it is.
You can't cover it.
But if you compare and contrast that with the Western Conference, which again, it's the same. There's no real race between in and out of the playoffs. The Flames have 85, the Sharks have 50, and the Blackhawks have 54.
Yeah, but
That's a big difference.
The Calgary Flames are like the West for the New York Rangers, where it's like every opportunity the Flames got to take that playoff spot, and they never took it.
They never did.
The Blues ended up going on that streak, and now they're comfy in. And the Wild might lose every game for the rest of the year, and the Flames still might not put together like 2 wins in a row to take that spot.
Yeah, they're
Big
6-2-2.
OT win.
in their last 10.
Big OT win the other day.
Yeah,
for Rossi.
but like, go look at their season, like how it's gone. Like no good long winning streak, and if they do have a little bit of a winning streak, it's followed by like mediocrity after that, and they've just been mid all season. Adam, before you moved on from the East, just to put in perspective on like, hey, the playoff race, it was up. The second wildcard seed was up for. Anybody could take it at that moment. There was a moment there a couple months ago where like anybody can get in there. March 1st, I'll take that date. The Montreal Canadiens since then went 10-4-4. So like, they
that's
did their
amazing.
thing.
Good
March
for them.
1st, like they did their thing. Columbus 5-11-1.
Wow.
And for most of the season, they were in that playoff spot.
Yes, they were.
And then March 1st on 5-11-1. Next up, the New York Rangers 7-7-3.
Boo.
Just a whole bunch of mid. And then the other team in there who's even below the New York Rangers from March 1st onwards, the Red Wings, 6-10-1.
Hey, for fun, what were the Islanders?
The Islanders were also very mid, 8-7-3.
How?
I definitely thought they were better than that.
No, since March 1st,
Well,
8-7-3.
The rumor is that Lou Lamoriello is sticking around for at least one more year, and I just want to know how Isles fans feel about that.
The man was born during the Battle of Stalingrad. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, I mean,
he looks great.
How many years of mid do you need, though? No. At what point is it not about Lou the legend? It's Lou about Lou right now. And is this serving your team anymore?
He's never been fired. It's never been fired. I think if you're one of the people on the Islanders with the power to get rid of Lamoriello, you're probably like, I thought this problem would have solved itself by now. I thought
you don't know
I
Lou
thought he'd be
Lamoriello.
long retired.
You don't know Lou Lamoriello then?
Yep, I'm not sure you realize who you hired.
Yeah. So
You don't fire him, you fire his son.
That's
That's how you do it. That's how you get him
I'm
out.
sorry. Do you mean the GM of the Bridgeport Sound Tigers or whatever they're called?
Chris Lamoriello.
And Adam, if you wanted to jump back over the West, this is what I was talking about, the Calgary Flames. Like when you thought like, hey, they're going to do something good because they had this little 4-game winning streak in the middle of March. But that was that was after they had a great 3-game losing streak. And before that, they were like 1-3-1. And then now they've gone, here's a 2-game winning streak there. There's 2 wins there, 2 losses there. And then you go over to April and it's, hey, you lost to Utah, you beat the Ducks, you lose an OT to Vegas. Like they can't just string anything together for March or April to get back into that playoff spot.
I think that March lost Dustin Wolf the Calder.
Yes, it did. It also won Lane Hudson the Calder.
Yeah.
Like
Lane had to take advantage, but it was neck and neck.
It was. Oh, I think they're 2 truly exceptional rookies. That Flames game against the Wild in a week or 2, that is could be an insane game.
Yeah, if they can do it, like I keep waiting for them to just take that spot back, and they can't do it. But here's the Sharks tonight.
Twice.
You get the Sharks, and then Wednesday you get the Ducks. Like win those games, go into Friday against the Wild, making that game mean something.
Dude, you have 6 games
Right?
left, and 3 of them are against the Sharks and Ducks.
And by the way, the Wild only have 4 left.
Yep.
Oh,
Like the Flames are right there and they can do it. And all season long, they've been right there and they haven't been able to do it.
are you taking the
You
over?
got to be
on the
perfect.
I'm asking you, Calgary, take your spot from Minnesota, make Hayden really sad, win the games against the Sharks and Ducks, beat the Wild at home, then beat the Sharks again at home, then play a Vegas team that's going to lock up their division, so they're not going to be playing for anything. Last game of the season, Kings as well are going to be locked in the 2 spot. You can run the table here 6 games in a row, get into the playoffs.
You're going to be playing the Silver Knights and the Reign in those 2 games.
Honestly.
Man.
Calgary, the spot's right there.
But they have
prove
to
me wrong and do it.
They have to take it.
They got to take it, but all season long they haven't taken it. So we'll see.
Woo!
Wow.
Thank
The
you.
one
See, I'm
last
hyped
true.
Yeah,
now I
no,
can get hyped for something.
We got a good week of hockey.
Now
here.
I can get hyped for something because I was looking at the standings going, aw. Now, within the playoff race, okay, so I
will
mentioned,
Sportsnet black out the games?
Yo,
man, let's put this on 360.
that's a travesty. It's a travesty.
Hey,
I gotta
listen,
call it out.
the reason that they do that is so that you'll subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah, but have you considered that's bullshit?
They did that with the Jays. The first, when they launched 360, they took for all of September. This was during Batista's first 50 home run season. It was 2011. And I'll never forget, they launched this Sportsnet 360 thing or whatever it was, or Sportsnet 1. That's what it was. And people were like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, they took the Jays off for all of September off of Sportsnet and put it on Sportsnet 1. And I remember the CEO of Rogers walked out into the field for like a Cito Gaston goodbye ceremony. And I was there because my girlfriend worked for them. And everybody in the
Hazel
stadium
May?
booed him. No, I was not dating Hazel May. No, somebody worked for the Blue Jays. And so I got free tickets all the time. It was pretty sweet. But so he walks out of the field, and I'll never forget it. The boos erupted, and they did not stop the entire time.
Great.
It was crazy. And I don't understand why. Like, I get why they do that, but like, I guess, like, listen, I just want to. Can we just speak openly for a second? If you wanted to see that game,
I'm holding space.
hold space.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see the game that bad, and you're an intense hockey fan,
Yeah.
you know how to Yarmady Plus that, right?
What is that?
It's the new streaming service that's out there. Doesn't you know what you do? It does come with ads. It does come with ads. Some of them are predatory.
Oh.
But Yarmady Plus. Tell me that is going to compel most people to subscribe to that.
I think that isn't the audience they're going after.
I
think the audience they're going after is you. Because, like, if I asked you to pull up a stream, an illegal Yarmady Plus stream of a baseball game right now, you wouldn't be able to do it, right?
I know now because you told me how.
Yeah, but before, like, last week
No.
when I showed you how.
No.
So you...
What is this service? Is
You
this
in
like
that
Crave?
situation
Or-
are like, fuck, I gotta watch this fucking hockey game. I'm gonna punch in my credit card and buy it.
Right.
Right? I don't think they're ever getting the 22-year-old who lives in, is going to university, is never gonna pay for this service ever.
Yeah.
They're not getting that kid. They want the 35-year-old who's just like, fuck it. My credit card's already synced. I'll do Apple Pay and just get this game.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So-
Well, okay. I did my taxes this weekend, and I was looking at how much it cost me because I have the Sportsnet Premium Plus thing. That's an outrageous sum of money.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
There'd be no way I could have it if I wasn't writing it off. And I'm just being honest.
Oh, I
That's
know.
insane money. That's insane money. And what's crazy about it is relative to other sports, it's actually a lot less. Because if you look at what it costs to be an NFL fan this year, what was it this year? It was like you had to have like
Yeah, it was like $700 something American.
700 American. So you're paying minimum $50 per week, and it's one game.
let me be just an ancient fossil for a moment.
Okay.
November 2011. I'm working at Sportsnet. I think it was 2011. Not at Sportsnet. Let me start over. November 2011. I'm working at CBC.
Okay.
Sidney Crosby has been out for months and months and months. There were rumors for a while that he may never come back. And this is peak Sidney Crosby. He won his cup. He scored the golden goal at the Olympics. He was far, far, far and away the best player in the National Hockey League. He's gone. He comes back. It is a nothing November regular season game against the New York Islanders. They find out he's coming back that game. CBC, who was the rights holder at the time, puts that game on nationally in Canada. A Penguins Islanders game was on national TV in Canada. I was told to come in for an extra shift. A lot of people were told to come in for an extra shift. I got to do the live stream of the game because CBC used to broadcast Hockey Night in Canada games on their website
For free.
for free to anybody. Ovechkin's game was on Sportsnet 360. You don't know what you got till it's gone. And a lot of people hate CBC because they were programmed to, and we're just like, yeah, sure. I don't like Murdoch mysteries. Fuck them. You don't know what you got till it's gone. CBC provides a service to Canadians, and they did that day. And we didn't get that yesterday. You got a product.
Yeah.
There's a service and a product, And until you understand what the difference is between the two, you're going to end up disappointed sometimes.
Okay. All right. It's fair. It's fair. Looking at the West, I just want to see the repositioning in the West here. Is it possible that the St. Louis Blues on a 12-game winning streak?
Stupid.
Is it possible that they win every game and the Avs lose every game and the St. Louis Blues catch the Colorado Avalanche?
No.
Okay.
No. I honestly think the Blues could win every game.
I do too.
But Colorado losing every game? No.
They have 4 games left. If the playoffs started today, and it's looking like this is the way it's going to go, it'd be Golden Knights Blues. Who are you taking in that series?
Jeez.
And honestly, who are you taking in that series? You got both Team Canada goaltenders, head-to-head.
Oh, my God.
Hayden Hill-Binnington.
That's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Championship DNA. Oh. You got to go Golden Knights, right?
You okay?
No, not really. You're
There's
asking
a lot of ums and ahs.
You're
and
asking an indecisive guy to make a decision on
Yeah.
the spot. It's gonna cause me physical pain. I think the worst thing you can do when trying to make these predictions is going with the hot hand. You always get sucked in by the hot hand.
Mm-hmm.
Surely it's Vegas? Question mark. Can I ask? Can my answer be Vegas but high pitched? Vegas?
Okay. Jesse, what do you think?
I think that's exactly how it's got to be. I'm choosing the Vegas Golden Knights, but it's very concerned about who they're up against. Vegas Golden Knights.
Absolutely, no one should want to play the St. Louis Blues.
By the way, it's also a battle of ex-Boston head coaches.
Oh, Cassidy and Montgomery.
The last 2.
Wow. Yo, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Boston shouldn't have done that.
With either of them, maybe.
Oh, man.
Both have gone on to be wildly successful
Quite
elsewhere.
good. Yes. Yeah. The Bruins, I saw a stat. The Bruins are the first team in NHL history to win 55 or more games and not win a cup within 2 years of doing it.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're not winning the cup at all this year. Even kinda.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pick first and it's going to piss me off. And it's going to be a shame. Who do you think they're picking first?
I don't know.
Misa?
I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about the
Yeah?
playoffs.
Good for you.
I'm thinking about the playoffs without the Boston Bruins in it.
Oh, you have time to think about multiple things.
Nope.
I have time to be excited about the playoffs, worried about the playoffs, worried the Bruins are going to pick first.
That's a 3 months from now problem. I don't care about that.
I got time to worry about it every day until then.
The Blues win over the Avs on Saturday was really impressive. Like they're
over.
They're showing that they can win multiple ways. It's really cool. Where hey, we'll just get great goaltending one day from Binnington, and the next game we'll just outscore the Avs 5-4. It's great. And going into last year's playoffs, people probably don't remember, but the Florida Panthers were on a 4-game winning streak going into the playoffs, and they were the hot team, and they won 5 of their last 4 games. And so they won 1, and then they lost, and then they went on that 4-game winning streak going into the playoffs. And the Blues got a chance here if they didn't peak just too early, like a week too early, to go into this playoffs on this crazy streak. And at that point, if they keep this up for this week and next week, I might flip-flop against the Golden Knights.
I don't think anyone in the NHL is saying this, but poor Vegas.
Yeah.
Back-to-back years where your first-round opponents are Dallas and the Blues. Ew.
And the Dallas series last year was so depressing because they go up 2-0 on the road, and then you come back home and you lose 2 straight, and then it's 2-2, and you just had 2 road victories. It's a brutal, brutal exit for the Golden Knights last year. But I think they're an improved team on last year because they got all those additions at the trade deadline, and now they've had a full season to play with them, and all they've done has been great with them all season long. And the consistency is there. And with the Blues, you're riding the hot hand or you're riding the consistent hand. So it's going to be a fucking fantastic series.
Eichel's at another level too. Man, what a stupid team.
Not the best game last night, Eichel, but against Vancouver. But they won. Who cares?
Could this be the season the Los Angeles Kings finally beat the Edmonton Oilers? 8-2-0 in their last 10. Edmonton 6-3-1. But obviously has been dealing with Connor McDavid being out, Leon Draisaitl being in and out.
There's banged up and there's injured. I think the Oilers stars are injured. There's a big difference. I think you can overcome banged up. It's difficult to overcome injured. I mean, McDavid, he's still one of the best players in the league, but like, look at his numbers compared to his career. It's not even on the same planet. If you have less than 100% of Draisaitl, well, you know you can. We've seen Draisaitl perform banged up. He's been pretty good. I think this. I hate being Charlie Brown, and the NHL is Lucy holding the football. But I'm gonna try to kick it again, and I'm gonna say I'm leaning Kings right now.
Jesse,
I gotta lean Kings too. Especially because in net, like, that's the biggest X factor for the Oilers for so long. It's been what's happening in goal. And last year they got exceptional goaltending out of Stuart Skinner for the playoffs, and now he's injured. And I don't know if he's going to be ready for the playoffs. They say he is, so maybe. If Picard is who you're going with in the playoffs, like, are we trusting him to do the thing? And then your D's also always been shaky. And if McDavid and Draisaitl are banged up, this is the time for the Kings, who play a great defensive style of hockey, can get timely goaltending. So I'm going to lean on the Kings to do it in the first round.
This is a weird thing to say about like a very good team that has a lot of young parts. If the Kings lose this year, how don't you blow it up?
Yeah, it's over. Like,
yeah,
you keep losing to the same team every year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to advocate for you the same thing I've been advocating for my stupid team,
Yep.
which is you might want to look into making some significant changes.
No, you got to end it if you're the Kings.
Yeah,
but I
I'm
think they're going to beat them too. I do lean that way. How can you not? How can you not?
How can you not?
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at BetterHelp.com/SDP and get on your way to being your best self. And one of the things that BetterHelp can help you with are the green flags.
Ooh.
We spend so much time worrying about the red flags. What about the good stuff? What about how do I know if this is a good thing? It's not just avoiding red flags. It's going towards the green flag
Pursuit.
Mm-hmm. What would you call it? What would you consider a green flag, Steve?
Oh, man. Someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously.
Jesse, green flag.
Someone who watched the full Japanese Grand Prix over the weekend, because that was a slog. And if you're willing to commit to that, I know you're willing to commit to anything, including our relationship.
And you stayed up late to watch it too. I waited at least till the next morning.
Yeah, no, not worth it.
Yeah, 2 a.m. race. Yeah, it's a nice parade. Thanks, guys. Anyway, hey, listen, green flags, discover yours with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/STP today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/STP.
Can I ask Steve a question since we brought up Draisaitl?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Steve, Draisaitl is somebody very near and dear to your heart because you own him on your team, on your roster as general manager of your own fantasy team. How did your fantasy season play out now that we are on Monday after the fantasy playoffs?
I finished third in the regular season.
Okay.
Somehow made it all the way to the final, and I got a big fat congratulations on your second place finish.
Oh.
Who did you lose to?
I lost to Butter. He's one of our Discord
Yep.
admins. I put up a valiant fight considering how many injuries I had. I had 170.3 points. He puts up 219.1.
Oh, so it wasn't
Oh my
close.
God.
I was not close. I had it close until about Thursday or Friday night. Basically, the first night Draisaitl was hurt.
Can you read your roster and then read Butter's roster?
Well, this is my final. roster,
Your Sunday season over roster.
My scratches are Rossi, Uyghur, Marner, Draisaitl, Miller, JT Miller, I should say. Goalies Aiden Hill, Sam Montembeault, Jared Spurgeon. The reason I have Spurgeon and Rossi is because the Wild played Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday to maximize games played. Moritz Seider, who's been unreal for me for like 2 years. Thomas Chabot, because the Sens that was also some game strategy. Alex Pietrangelo. Tom Wilson was unreal for me. Brian Rust had an unreal stretch run for me. Lucas Raymond has been so underrated. How are the Red Wings still garbage? Ricard Raquel has had an extremely underrated season. Pierre-Luc Dubois, was a recent pickup, and Matt Duchene was a pickup, I think around Christmas, and he's been unreal. I lost to Rope Hintz, Dylan Strome, Philip Forsberg, Ryan Donato, who plays center, left, and right. Connor Bedard, Kirill Marchenko was a recent pickup for him. Lane Hudson, Evan Bouchard, Cale Makar, Jake Sanderson.
Oh, so he loaded up on scoring D.
Yes, he did.
That was the strategy.
Murdered.
Good work on the scoring D.
Yeah. Philip Gustafson, Darcy Kemper, Alexei Protas, one of the most underrated players in the NHL, right next to Robert Thomas, another one of the most underrated players in the NHL.
Leads the league in scoring since Four Nations.
Brandon Hagel, Connor Hellebuck is a scratch, Fiala, Sergachev, Hischier, Brott.
Oh, that team's much better than yours.
Yeah, no, he deserved to win.
Yeah.
But you made the finals.
I made the final.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
all odds.
Good for
Also,
you.
Brat before the Devils fans yell at you.
Is it Brett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
No, and I think he picked up Brat last minute. I think someone out of desperation in the semis dropped him.
Oh no, why?
Well, because he didn't have. If you need a game to make it to the next round and he's not playing, you got to drop him.
Yeah.
You got to drop someone who's not playing.
Yeah.
But
how
no,
did that go for them?
Well, I assume they lost.
Yeah.
Brat
What?
was he's the 16th ranked player.
Yeah, that is. Oh God.
This year. Holy shit. Yeah, no, he's quite good.
Okay. Should we do the press conference?
Sure.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
First question.
You made us wait for that one.
I had to pull up the questions.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. No. First question here comes from the Matty Pox. The Matty Pox. What are y'all's thoughts on the NHL making the last 7 games of the season only interdivisional games? Think it could be interesting and lead to a more exciting tight playoff race and an excellent little prelude to the playoffs. Also would be previewing potential round 1 matchup. Would love to hear thoughts. So the NFL does something similar where on the last Sunday of the season, all the games are scheduled to be interdivisional games so that they can kind of manufacture, like, if there's a race for the division lead or a playoff spot, the two teams are going to be playing each other, you know? So on the last day of the season, you get those, like, hey, whoever wins this game will win the division kind of stuff. Do you think the NHL could manufacture something like that?
It's not a terrible idea, but I don't think this works for hockey and I don't think this works for basketball because their schedules are too insane. They have 2 82-game schedules. That's so many games. And the last week heading into the playoffs in the NHL is garbage time. Unless you're desperately trying to make it, it's garbage time. What I would like is a play-in. Then you could do a play-in. But what you're going to get is 2 teams like not dressing their full roster. You're incentivizing injuring players. Like there's going to be a few matchups where it's like, I don't know. I got called up from the AHL. I'm probably never going to be in the NHL again. I might as well get a chunk of someone. I perfectly understand why you would want it. I understand why it works for the NFL. I don't think it would work for the NHL.
Adam.
I think you could.
You could. Meh.
Really?
Meh. Well, you said it. How many? What is it? How many of the top 3 divisional teams or whatever are on a winning streak? And it's 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Here's an idea.
They're all playing like
it's
garbage.
not the last. Like, what if it's not April? What if it's March right after the trade deadline, when all the races, everything is still possible?
Yeah, you could do that.
So you could be like, you call it division month, and literally it's like becomes like a big. Because after the trade deadline, traditionally, without the Ovi thing, it's been a bit. There's a little bit of a U in the ratings. There's a little bit of a U in the interest. There is a drop in interest.
Yeah.
Unless your local market is in a race for something, right? And so until the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep people interested, trade deadline's what, March 7th or whatever?
I think it was 7th.
What about the following 3 weeks? It's the NHL's version of March Madness, but it's just division matchups.
Now this is us going, well, simply do this. What if there's a Taylor Swift concert? What if there's
Well, that's one night. They can sort it out. They can figure it out.
But one night turns into a bunch. pretty fast. And now because we have to delay this one, then they can't come
Steve,
until here. And
are you telling me with the dumb schedule that they keep that they couldn't figure this out? You don't think they could figure this out?
I think it's harder than you think. I think it's a lot harder than you think.
Okay, well, I don't think it's that hard. I actually don't think it's that much of a difference. And it would keep the guys off the airplanes that much, right? Because if you're staying within your division, you're not flying as much. Western teams, I know you always fly more.
Yeah, no, you're screwed.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I like the idea. I like the idea a lot. I think it's cool.
I want to know what team players see on their schedule, like for a road game, and they just go, fuck. Which team is that?
Yeah.
And why is it Vancouver?
Why do you think it's that?
What, just getting there?
Oh.
Oh, the city's lovely. But fuck.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
I got to go to the California road trip's so shit.
Why?
But the
time
Western Canadian road trip's so much worse. It's got to be that, right?
I don't know.
That's got to be your worst 3-game stretch of the season.
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
They're all, like the California teams are at least all in California, all in a straight line. Vancouver is not close to Edmonton, is not close to Calgary.
Edmonton and Calgary.
3-hour
drive.
You're
You're flying.
flying, yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's okay. Maybe that's just me because I'm like, I don't want to stay up.
Yeah, I think these guys are used to it.
The one good thing about the Western Canadian road trip is they try to make 2 of them national games. So there's only like one late game. The California road trip. We had to go to California to make it workable.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
You do hate that.
Oh, I hate the California road trip.
All right, next up is a Ovi blackout complaint. Dark Knight wrote on our Discord, Ovi might break the NHL record for goals and is on a national broadcast. But lo and behold, I live 3 hours from DC and subject to local blackouts, even though I subscribe to every streaming service the NHL provides.
It's garbage.
That's got to be something to do with the game being on TNT and you being in the area, so you got to like watch it on your local channel or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, just make it available, man.
Yeah.
I would
I don't know.
love.
Like, it's not hard. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I would love to offer like a legitimate suggestion. But
Oh, there is a legitimate decision.
oh, dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's completely stupid. Well, I think best case scenario was piracy. Worst case is they just go meh and they don't watch it.
Yep. That should have been a national game in the States. Right? That should have been a national ESPN game.
Dun 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 dun.
Well, TNT had the rights to the game.
TNT.
You can't take it back from them, right?
It's true.
So dumb.
Yeah, and I don't think everybody has
what?
TNT.
This is the Caps' fault for not scratching him.
Damn, Jesse, go ahead. Tell him he's right.
With all of the Ovi hoopla, how dare we not mention that Sidney Crosby had his 14th career hat trick?
Unbelievable.
Did you see that?
No, I did not. I know he had it.
Yes.
I know he had it. I know he has more point per game seasons than Gretzky. And Mark Lazarus had a silly stat the other day because I think the Penguins played the Blackhawks. Crosby, guess how many times Crosby has played at the United Center in Chicago?
I would assume a lot.
Yeah, he's been playing since 2005.
I'd say so. 2000. He's played like 20 years of hockey. You visit there once a season.
Yep.
Maybe sometimes in the schedule early on they didn't have the even split. So
Yep.
I'd say like 15.
15.
Yeah, 15 is probably a reasonable number.
How do I disagree with that? 15's fine.
9.
Oh.
That's not a
He
lot.
hasn't even hit double-digit games
Wow.
in Chicago.
Wow.
Chicago, who gets everything, right?
Wow.
I wonder how many. Oh, I think part of that might be. Did the Penguins ever play the Blackhawks in an outdoor game?
I don't.
I mean, dude.
I mean, they must.
You're asking me to pull 10 games.
Yeah. Anyway,
10
9
years of
games
games.
at the United Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
Not a lot. Any others?
No, we're good there.
Okay. We're going to wrap. But
But
we'll be back. And CJ show. Brand new today. All about Ovi's 895. And other things too. I didn't make a big... Should I have made a big deal? This is my question, you guys. Should I have made a big deal about that Jonas Siegel, Mitch Marner sit down? I didn't really make a big
I haven't
deal
even
of it.
read it.
Yeah, I just felt like I was like, yeah, he just told us nothing. Like nothing against Jonas, but like Mitch was like, I'm not talking about the contract, man. I don't know.
I think we could have talked about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I just didn't. I don't even think it did it register. Like I felt like Leaf fans were like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, Leaf fans are. I think they vary understand the assignment this year.
Yeah?
We're not being distracted by any bullshit. It's the playoffs.
Got it. Okay.
Dial in.
But Jesse thinks we should have done it. I could always break it down. We can break it down next episode if you want. What do you think?
It'll be just as irrelevant then.
All right, let's get out of here.
Steve's never going to read it, so we don't have to talk about it.
No,
but I can read him the quotes.
I want to see screen caps of fake content from the article. It's not real. Someone just made it to screw with us. we get Mr. Booth about Marner. I would like
happens.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.